So you want to know how I color grade? You know, a lot of people have been asking me about this video. Okay, it was only one person. Shout out this guy. But since color grading is so situational and my grades depend on what I'm shooting, I'm going to show you guys 4 scenes and how I color grade them. So let's get into it. So color grading is more than just adjusting the hues and the saturations of your image. It's about storytelling. Color grading really depends on the mood and the type of emotion you're trying to evoke in the video or film. Think about the vibrant colors of La La Land and the moody colors of Blade Runner. These films don't just look good, they evoke a certain emotion or a tone. Now I use Joel Famularo's Phantom LUTs. It has an ARRI pack as well as a film stock pack that creates beautiful colors. Due to color grading being very situational, I'm gonna show you 3 different ways that I color grade for different types of shots. The first one is low light. Now I think the first step of actually grading low light footage is to start in your camera, and it's the way you expose. In my instance, I'm using S-Log. And if you would like to learn how to expose S-Log, video coming soon. In shooting it, I like to either use my available light as much as I can and reposition my subject, or now when grading low light and starting in camera, I like to use my available light or to motivate my available light. Now my A7S III does have dual base ISO up to 12800, and sometimes I even push it to 256. But I won't use it unless I have some type of available light in my image. In this clip, for example, I first applied the LUT. Now in my videos, I like a lot of dark shadows and a lot of contrast with increased highlights and midtones, as well as the temperature is drawn more to the cool side, but I don't do too much because I don't want it to fall apart. So you can see we make a couple adjustments and now we have this cool low light image. Now, when it comes to skin tones, it can sometimes get a little complex. Personally, I deal with a lot of melanated skin, and those can vary widely from light to dark. It's crucial to understand the specific tone that you're working with and color grade in favor of those skin tones looking realistic. While it's important to make the skin tones pop, oversaturation can also lead to unnatural results. Aim for a balanced look that enhances the natural beauty of the skin without making it look too unrealistic. So our first step is to go ahead and mask our subject. This is going to show us a more accurate reading on our vector scope. Right click and click your vector scope. As you can see, the skin tone should fall along this line here, no matter what color you are. So our colors are already pretty much on par, but I'm going to tweak them to show you how off the line they could be. So we're just going to get it right on that line. Now we're going to go ahead and delete the mask, and this is what we have right now. But for me, her arms are looking a little bit pale, so we're going to try to increase the contrast. We're going to make a new Lumetri color layer, and we're going to go ahead and name it arms, and we're going to place the HSL secondary on her arms and try to get a more accurate outline of her arms. From here, we're just going to add a little bit of red and increase the contrast. And here's a subtle difference, but I think it makes a big difference. For lighter skin tones, use the color wheels to adjust the midtones and the highlights. You might want to add a touch of warmth by slightly increasing the reds or the yellows. Now, my favorite type of grading is making something vibrant. To make vibrant colors, you might want to use the HSL curve, which stands for hue, saturation, and luminance. For the hue adjustments, you can start by selecting specific hues that you want to enhance. For instance, if you're working on a landscape shot, you might want to make the greens and the blues more vibrant. You can adjust the hue curve to shift these colors slightly to make them more appealing. Next is the saturation boost. You can increase the saturation of the colors that you want to pop. For luminance control, you can adjust the luminance to control the brightness of specific colors. This can help in making certain elements of your video more prominent. For instance, if you want the sky to be more dramatic, you can increase the luminance of the blues. Okay, so to make this bloom, we're first going to color correct, and then we're going to make another Lumetri color tab and call it reds. Then we're going to go to our HSL secondary, click on our set color, and we're going to pick the reds. Now we're just going to adjust it, but as you can see, it's pretty much selecting all the reds. From here, we're just going to add a little bit of red in our correction tab, and then we're going to add some saturation. Now we have a before and after. Pretty subtle, but makes it work. Then we're going to add another Lumetri color, and we're going to rename it as our yellows. To make our yellows pop, we're going to do the same thing and set our color, and then go ahead and just make it even more yellow. Then we're going to add this flag to the yellow as well, and we're just going to shift the yellows up a little bit. Then we're going to add some contrast again. We're going to add some blur. And boom, there we have our yellows, before and after. Now we're going to add one more Lumetri color, and this is going to be our skies. So we're going to rename this skies. And we just want this gloomy day to just pop a little bit more. So we're going to set the color to this up here. And as you can see, we don't have the whole sky. So we're going to try to play around with it. So we're just going to keep adding until we pretty much select the sky. We're just going to make it cooler, and then we're going to add blur. And then we're going to add some contrast, and that's our before, and this is our after. And while there is no wrong way to color grade, you should want to color grade in a style that's different from others. But also you should take inspiration. For me, I take inspiration from Valandis. His color and his cinematography, they're beautiful. But while it's great to take inspiration, remember to add your own unique touch. Use inspiration as a foundation, but don't be afraid to experiment and create a signature look for yourself. That's where my secret sauce, but not so secret, comes in, and that's my bloom. So the first thing to do is select your clips and go ahead and nest them. Name it, and afterwards duplicate it and place it on top. From here, search up LumaKey in the effects folder and drag it on top. Then add Gaussian blur and drag it on top as well. Now go ahead and set your threshold to 95, and for video 1 or the video below, we're just gonna go and play with the cutoff. As you can see, it shows me how much light I'm letting in. We'll go ahead and place it about 61% and our blurriness at 35. And boom, now we have our highlights blooming. Pretty simple. Now with you bringing inspiration into practice, start by selecting a scene from a movie. You can break down the color scheme and try to replicate it in your own footage. This exercise will not only improve your technical skills, but also will help you develop a keen eye for how colors work together. That's all I have for you guys today. Appreciate the love I've been getting. Hey man, let's run it up. All right, I'm out.